Welcome to Mother Daughter Projects. I'm Steph.
I'm Vicki.
And today we're going to make DIY epoxy galaxy nightstands. So 4 years ago we made these neon nightstands, and in the middle we actually put a place for a charger for my phone. And these have been working out great, but in the last few years I stopped using that charger, so the hole was just kind of sitting there. And I got a new bed recently, and so the nightstands are a little too short. So I thought we're going to need to make new nightstands.
And I said, wait just a minute.
Hold on.
So I thought, we can just reuse these, and this is just a metal pipe that is holding it up. And I said, why don't we just get taller pipes, and I can do a really cool epoxy finish on this, so let's just upcycle what we have.
So I let Mom run with this project, and I'm happy I did. They turned out way better than I even expected, and this is such a cool way to kind of reuse something that we already had. So let's get started and show you how this all came together.
To fill in the grooves on top, we used a dab patch product that we had on hand. Once that was dry, we sanded and added gesso, which is a primer for artists, but we found it's a really good base for epoxy projects. It gives a very nice matte, chalky finish and dries really quickly. Time to mix the epoxy. Here are all the supplies we used: some black diamond epoxy pigment, glitter, pipettes, a Wagner heat gun, and Total Boat tabletop epoxy. Always read the safety data sheet that comes with any kind of chemical that you're working with. For epoxy, we have good ventilation by working with the garage door open and with a fan directing the vapors out. We're wearing our N95 mask and protecting our eyes and skin. Always read the instructions for the epoxy you'll be using. This was an easy one as it was a 1-to-1 ratio of hardener and resin. The instructions will also let you know how long you need to mix the product for. Mom poured equal parts into small containers and used a tiny plastic stirrer to add pigment to the epoxy. Now this is the creative part. Mom is just trying different combinations to see what looks good. She made sure the round was lint-free with a tack cloth. Then she poured on the epoxy. She's using a Lazy Susan to easily manipulate the project and a plastic spreader to easily move the epoxy around. She added some pearl epoxy in a spiral and smoothed it with a plastic spreader. She added some clear epoxy to create a black hole effect in the middle. A heat gun was passed over the epoxy to eliminate air bubbles. Then she used a pipette to add glitter, again in a spiral. Another pass with a heat gun to remove air bubbles. Once that had cured overnight, she removed the T-vac tape from the back. This was put in place to keep the back free of epoxy spills, which you can see here on the tape. T-vac tape is waterproof and very sticky, and that's why many people use it in epoxy projects. Mom added one more layer of clear epoxy to the top to finish. Mom experimented with different ways to protect the backside from drips. This time she used green frog tape, which was traditionally used for painting. Here it is, all done. Mom moved into prepping the second one in the same way. Again, she added the first layer of epoxy and spread it around. This time adding more of everything to really make it sparkle, and it worked. Lastly, she used outdoor painter's tape on the bottom side, and she'll tell you during the What We Learned section which one worked best. With the two tops done, we headed to my house and swapped the pipe out for a taller one, and that's the base that we're going to reuse, which is made from concrete, and we screwed it into the top. It has a pipe flange on the bottom, and that's how it attaches to the pipe. And here it is, all done. There's one on each side of my bed. In person, you can really see all the depth and all the details and the differences in each top.
What we learned.
Well, the first thing is we realized when we got finished with these that we basically used things that we had. We didn't have to buy anything new. We had the epoxy. We ended up having the pipe, the correct length pipe we needed.
The pipe was left over from the light stand that we made for my massage chair.
We had the glitter. We had all the pigments for the epoxy. We even had the gesso that we painted on the tables before we epoxied them. So we basically had everything we needed, which was really kind of cool.
Yeah, very cool. You may have noticed that every time Mom would do a pour of epoxy, she would tape up the bottom. And this is something you really need to do when you're working with epoxy, especially something with an edge on it, is you need to protect the bottom side, because epoxy will just kind of leave drips on the bottom, and it is a nightmare to try to sand off. So Mom actually tried 3 different types of tape in order to kind of seal off the bottom. And what do you think worked best?
Well, I used the T-Vac tape. That wasn't the first one. It was the white tape. That works well. It comes off easily, but that tape is so hard. It sticks so well that it's really hard to peel up, and it actually leaves a sticky residue. So I really ended up having to go back and sand that off and then paint that, because it really kind of gross. The next thing I used was the green frog tape, and I realized I could bend that around the edges really well. It went on very easy, came off really super easy. Probably that was my favorite one. And the other one I tried, well, between the frog tape and the blue tape, I forgot to tape the bottom, which was a big mistake. And I ended up having to get 36 grit sandpaper, and I literally had to sand those drips off. And that created a whole mess, so it's fine. Don't forget to use the tape. But I used the blue tape next, which it went on easy, not as easy as the frog tape, and I don't think it came off quite as cleanly as the green frog tape, so I would suggest the green frog tape.
Okay, Mom, overall, what did you learn in this project?
Oh my goodness, I had so much fun doing this. Epoxy is so much fun to do. It really is very creative, and you get to use a lot of different techniques. And I will say that before I actually settled on this, I did about 3 different samples to see what I would like, because I wasn't sure. I've never used glitter before. Actually, I think I think there's glitter you can get that's for epoxy, but this is just craft glitter that I had, and I wanted to try that. I tried out the different colors with it, and it just gave me a lot more confidence seeing it finished in a sample. And the one that we liked the most was the Galaxy, and that's the one we ended up using. So it's just super fun.
We've actually worked with epoxy a lot in the past. We probably have a playlist on YouTube of all those projects. If not, we'll make one, and we'll put a link to that below. But if you want to know any more about epoxy, or if you want us to do a whole video about epoxy, let us know in the comments below, and we will do that, because it's a fun product that we've worked with a lot.
Well, and we are using a different kind. We're using Total Boat now, which we did that on if you saw my closet remodel, we did the countertop with that Total Boat, and we're very pleased with it. So that's why I went ahead and used it on this.
Yeah, so that is now our favorite brand of epoxy,
yes.
Total Boat, and we'll put a link to, well, all of that will be linked in our in the link to our website that will have all of the products and screenshots from this and everything. So if you like this project, please give us a big thumbs up, and if you want to thank us even more, there's a new super thanks button that you can click, and you can give us a little donation. So thanks for joining us. If you want to see more projects from us, be sure to visit us at motherdaughterprojects.com. Thanks for joining us. Bye. Bye. This is Tosh. Did we introduce her?
Oh, well, this is Tongue Out Tuesday.
She's very excited. She pretty much, we're on her bed, so
yeah.
She's gonna be here.
Yes.
Yeah. If you're on her bed, she'll join you. Oh, and this is Mac. You can't see her, but she's right here. Hey, girl.
Okay. What the on?
She's not a cat. She's not a bed dog.